Hi, kNOwATAXIA Nation. It's Thoughtful Tuesday, and today I'd like to introduce you to the Development Director of the National Ataxia Foundation. He has some great information that he would love to share with you. So let's listen in. So I'd like to welcome you, Joel, to our conversation.
Hey, well, thanks for having me, Dana. It's a real pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I thought that there are some people in kNOwATAXIA Nation that may have just recently become acquainted with the National Ataxia Foundation. And so I thought it would be a great opportunity for you to introduce yourself to the folks and to tell them a little bit about your role at the National Ataxia Foundation.
Sure, sure. Well, I came to the foundation almost 3 years ago, Dana,
I can't
as
believe three
development
years
director,
ago.
and in this role, it's my responsibility and my charter to really deliver as many dollars as we can to the foundation and do it as quick as we can. And the philosophy and the reasoning behind it is really quite basic, and that is money buys research and research finds answers. And the faster that we can fill the coffers of our researchers to help support them financially, to really push that ball down the field, the quicker we're going to get to a treatment, the quicker we're going to get to a cure. So it's a recognition that money is very important in buying research and understanding that research is where we're going to find our answers. And so my role here is to generate as many dollars as we can across the country and as fast as we can to make sure that our researchers have the resources they need.
That's great. And I think to your point, it's so very important because, you know, nothing happens without the almighty dollar. So we know that that is a really critical piece in finding a cure.
No, that's so true. And you know what? We call it the dirty little secret, right? I mean, but that's just something that we as the ataxia community, we have to understand. We have to embrace it. That money does buy the research. It's an important cog in this wheel. With it, we have a chance of getting to where we want to go. But without it, it's going to be really tough.
Yeah.
So, we really need to mobilize our community as a whole. We need to generate revenue. We need to continue to educate people around us and right outside of our own spheres of influence to learn about ataxia. And we need to energize our community because the answer is with us. Yeah, we are the ones who are going to have to get it done. We need to take that responsibility. And I think the first piece is to acknowledge the fact that money is a very important cog in this wheel to get us where we want to go.
Yeah. And I think that if anybody has been involved in the foundation over the last several years, they know about two programs that you've been involved in. And one is the walk and rolls. And then another one is the Go the Extra Mile campaign. So maybe we start there and you can give us a little update on both of those.
Well, for 2018, both campaigns did very well, generating combined well over $500,000,
Wow.
which is a great number. And we know we've got more to work towards, but that's okay because I think we had 17 walk and rolls across the country this year. We had many people involved with our Go the Extra Mile campaign. We know that they're going to continue to grow as we move forward. We have some real nice goals for 2019. But beyond the dollars, as we create these Go the Extra Mile campaigns in these various markets, as we embark on expanding our walk and roll schedule, we're also educating and building awareness about ataxia in our communities. And hopefully when we have a great experience at these events, we're energizing our folks and bringing more people into the fold and more volunteers and truly a grassroots generic growth to what's happening within our community.
Yeah, it's grassroots, but it's got such a heart and a strength to it because of that fact also.
Yes, it does.
So what are some other things that you've been working on throughout the year that you can update us on?
Well, from 2018, we have a lot of other events that we call internally we call them passion fundraising events. And the reason we call them that is because what really makes them happen is the passion that folks have to put them on. We have folks in Southern California doing a tea time for a cure. We've had a golf tournament in Western Pennsylvania. We had a wonderful night in Chicago this year where it was a very nice evening at a nice restaurant in suburban Chicago. We had guests, there were $100 tickets. It was a great evening of dancing and music and some speeches. We had a wonderful night there, but we call them passion fundraising because they're really, when people think of what they want to do to help raise funds, they're not using their head to think of what they want to do. They're using their heart.
Yep.
And that's when it becomes really successful. So we've had a number of really good passion fundraising events over this past year. And then we just recently, traditionally, we conduct our annual research drive, which really kicks off about the end of October and goes through the end of the year. And for those who've been following it this year, we were very fortunate to have 7 members of our community step up. We pulled together funds from 7 different families, and we created a $200,000 matching gift.
Wow.
And right around the end of the year, we were able to announce that we matched that $200,000. And I can tell you that the dollars have been continuing to come in. We're able to put everything that comes in with a December 31st postmark towards this campaign. And I can tell you that we did match the $200,000 are still being tallied, and we should have a very good number to announce, perhaps as early as mid next week. But the response to the research drive was tremendous, Dana.
Oh, that's fabulous. And you know what? 7 families to step up and donate to that is really incredible. That's more than a 50% increase from the prior ones that were done. So that's fabulous.
Yeah, it was a great year, and those dollars being a part of the research drive are targeted and restricted to research. So that's really how we're helping our research community as they pursue a treatment and a cure for ataxia.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. And that's very hopeful to anyone that's listening in our audience today, to know that there is stuff being actively pursued and worked on in order to get those funds to help find a cure. So that's awesome.
And, to that point, Dana, and I know we've got a real interested audience here, something that our folks need to know, especially those with ataxia, is that, boy, if you haven't signed up for the CORDS registry, we have so many opportunities with clinical trials coming our way that, to really help our researchers, we need folks to be a part of that CORDS registry so they can take part in these clinical trials. So for any of our listeners, if you've signed up, if you've registered, thank you. That's awesome. But if you haven't, be sure to go to ataxia.org and click on our CORDS registry and get registered, because that's important for a number of reasons. NIH grants look to see make sure that our researchers can get enough people registered and signed up for clinical trials so they can continually get funding. So we're really hitting home, hopefully with everybody, that the CORDS registry is so very important, and it does take a little time, but it's well worth it. And to help us get to where we need to be, we need folks to get registered, Dana.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. And also just to let people know that there are resources available at NAF that can help you if you do run into some difficulty, signing up. It is really well worth it. And it's a definite payback to everyone with ataxia by participating in one of those clinical studies and signing up for the CORDS registry. And the other thing that I would just tag on to that is the natural history studies as well. And if you go to the National Ataxia Foundation's page, you can find some information about those natural history studies. I believe there's like 10 centers that are actively looking for people to participate in those as well. So there's information on the Ataxia website about that. Thanks, kNOwATAXIA Nation, for listening in today. I hope that you enjoyed meeting Joel and hearing all about what he's been working on at the National Ataxia Foundation. Until next time, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for listening in to the Did You Know podcast with your host, Dana Mauro. Please subscribe to this channel to hear all of the latest podcasts. We hope that this podcast has provided you with valuable information and inspires you to advocate for yourself and educate everyone in your circle. Remember, you are the expert and best spokesperson for your rare disease. Thank you.